Oh no, I think that's totally wrong. I think floor crossing should be illegal.
I mean, I think it depends on what their constituents are saying. They've got to listen to the people they're representing.
He's great at making a facade of making himself look productive.
Yeah.
When he's actually not productive.
It seems like every week now there's a new floor crosser, and the latest one being Marilyn Gladu, who decided overnight to join the party and the government that she was criticizing on social media just days before. There's been a lot of chatter about the floor crossers in the media, in her constituency, but a side that's not getting covered a lot is what the young people or the supposed future of the country think about these floor crossers. So I'm here in Edmonton this week at the University of Alberta, and I decided to ask students at this campus and at one of their satellite campuses what they think of floor crossers. And I also asked them their general thoughts on Prime Minister Mark Carney, as well as the future of Canada. So without further ado, let's get to it.
These MPs that are being elected conservatives and are crossing the floor. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's hard with our system because we do like vote in that individual. We also don't have a say on the leader of our country. And so that becomes an iffy situation because, like, we're in Pierre Poilievre's riding, but we were in I can't remember his
Damien Carrick?
Carrick.
Yeah.
And so we were in his riding before, an amazing person. And a lot of people voted for him.
Yes.
But we also know that a vote for him would be a conservative. Where if you're a floor crosser, it kind of muddies the waters a little bit.
Are you optimistic about the future of Canada?
Yes and no. I think, as long as people stay level headed, and I feel like because of like globalization and stuff like that, like the whole world is kind of intertwined. So it just all depends on what happens with the world versus what happens here.
These MPs that are crossing the floor from, what do you make of that? Do you think that if an MP is elected as a conservative, maybe as a liberal, do you think it's appropriate that they change the party between two elections? Or
I mean, I think it depends on what their constituents are saying. They've got to listen to the people they're representing. And if the people they're representing maybe voted for them in one party, but their ideas are aligning more with another party, then I think it's reasonable to cross the floor.
Oh no, I think that's totally wrong. I think floor crossing should be illegal. And I think if you do floor cross, there should minimum be a by-election.
Yeah.
Because that is unconstitutional and that should not be allowed.
what do you think about Mark Carney as Prime Minister?
Oh, I think he's a globalist through and through, and he he loves the big government. He loves spending our money on things that are not helping out Albertans and Canadians and to further the Canadian economy. And he talks the big talk, but he doesn't walk a lot of it. So not a lot of action or yeah.
Are you optimistic about the future of Canada?
To be honest, not really. I think if we got a good conservative leader in, I think things could definitely turn around. But to get to that point, I think it would take quite a bit. And so generally, I'm not super optimistic at the moment.
What do you make of the floor crossers? So now we're at 5 floor crossers. What do you make of this?
To be honest, I think this is absolute. It's not that great for a democracy. People elected you to represent your constituents, and obviously, when your constituents said that you want a conservative, you're of course going to want to stay a conservative because, like, they voted for a conservative, right? I don't really think legislation to prevent floor crossing is the right approach. I think instead we should take it more of an Alberta, more what I think federally. I've been advocating this on social media a lot, but to have recall legislation similar to that of BC and Alberta. I don't think we should remove floor crossing because there are cases where like MPs do fall out with their party, and they just need to leave that party to distance themselves from there, and as well to really just stay true to themselves. However, when you have something like what's happening right now, I think it's the responsibility of the people to fire that MP.
Yeah.
And there is no better mechanism than a recall legislation to take to basically take that MP out electorally. And yeah, I think using democratic systems is much a better approach.
What do you think about Mark Carney, or Super Prime Minister Mark Carney, as the media likes to say?
Well, I'm not too much of a fan. I'll say that he's great at making a facade
Mm-hmm.
of making himself look productive.
Yeah.
When he's actually not productive. Like, where he talked about having a deal with Trump. Where is that deal? It's not there. He goes around saying that we should make agreements with other middle powers. We already have that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him doing anything productive right now, and I find it quite sad that some people see what he does as productive. And yeah, I think our country has gone down a very dark path.
Are you optimistic about? I mean, you're studying, so clearly you have some career ambitions.
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me a bit about that.
Well, I feel like the country's headed, like, from what I can tell, like, in a decent direction. Like, I don't think we're in a bad spot, like, necessarily, but I feel like we can only get better, I guess. Who knows? Maybe we can get worse, but yeah.
Are you hopeful about this future of Canada? Like,
Personally, I think that the direction that Canada had in the previous years, it wasn't a direction that I was happy about.
yeah,
And I feel like right now, in fact, in the world, we're seeing a correction of that direction that the world had, right? So I think that we're living a correction right now, which I personally believe is good. So yeah, at least I think that at this moment we're not going Canada is not going as bad as it was maybe 1 year ago.
okay.
Well, this sums up our video on the floor crossers and Prime Minister Mark Carney. I want to know what you think, so comment your thoughts down below. Be sure you like this video, subscribe, and consider becoming a paid channel member. It's less than $5 a month, and it helps fund these types of trips. This trip is costing over $1,000, so your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you, and God bless.